Welcome to another edition of SmarkJet. I hope all is going well for you. And I just wanted to do a video today, kind of like on the draft class of quarterbacks coming into this year's draft. I mean, you have guys like Goff, Wentz, Lynch, probably going in the first round, and then you have guys like Connor Cook. They throw him in there in the first round, and Connor Cook, for me, I'm not the biggest fan. And it's not because he wasn't selected or even voted on as captain of his team. It just, there's a lot of things going around with Connor Cook that, as far as, it's kind of weird that he wasn't drafted as the captain. A lot of people say about his attitude. A lot of people don't like him. But listen, as far as that goes, you may not be the biggest fan of a person, but if they help you win on the field, people are going to like you. But the reason why I really don't like him going into the first round is because of what he did on the field. I think he got worse. This year than last year, and that's not supposed to happen. I mean, he was rumored to come out his junior year, and he decided to go back for his senior year to, improve his draft status. Obviously, when you don't like the rumors as to where you would be projected in the draft, you want to improve that, and you go back to school. You want to be that top 5 pick, which is something that I'm sure Connor Cook wanted to do. But there were no results from Connor Cook this year that proved it. I think he's more in a second type of grouping as far as your quarterbacks go, which I think includes, in my opinion, Hackenberg from Penn State, junior out of Penn State. When he was, he was at one point kind of projected to be the #1 overall draft pick in the draft. But he, too, I think over the season, he just got progressively worse. A lot of people, you could say that he lost it because he lost his coach that he had in freshman year. And the system was just really never the same for him for what they were playing. Maybe it's because he had a good core of receivers around him at that point. He had that bust out year, that first year in school. Was it more about the players around him, or what is it? Maybe luck. But the kid has a damn good arm. Good size. Seen interviews with him. It seems like a very good kid. Not willing to write him off yet. But I don't think he's the first round. Then you have your second rounders. I think you put Connor Cook and Hackenberg as the second rounders. They're second rounders, to me anyway. When you have guys like Cardale Jones in there, he had an unbelievable run in 2014, if you remember. At that point, Ohio State, he was placed as the quarterback after they lost he was a third string, I believe. There are 2 quarterbacks in front of him. Both got injured, and he became the starter, and he led that Ohio State team to an unbelievable run. The championship, and ultimately to win the championship. But then he comes back to Ohio State, and he loses. He wins the last regular season game, wins the Big Ten championship semifinal and championship game. Beast, but he was a third stringer. So how good is he really? He was red-skinned a year. Could have been draft eligible. last year. Some might say that if you're Cardale Jones, you strike while the iron is hot. But he said nope, that he's going to go back to Ohio State. Nothing wrong with getting an education, going back to school. But by going back to compete, he ultimately lost his starting job. But, he didn't wow anyone, and that's why he lost. He lost it back to Barrett. And he was on the bench. So he could be a quarterback that was on the bench, but he's going to be drafted. Hey, listen, if you're not going to take a quarterback in the first round, for me anyway, then wait until the third round and on, for a developing quarterback. I think Jones is a quarterback that you could develop. So, just some of my thoughts on the quarterback class here coming into the draft. I hope all is well. Just some of my thoughts on the big names. I hope all is well and look forward to speaking very, very soon.